to win over my aloof childhood crush. I followed my yoga instructor's advice, removed my braces, got LASIK, and worked hard to improve myself. Though my yoga instructor had a cool, detached appearance, her love life was wildly active. A few times when things got urgent, she even had me deliver condoms. Just as I was about to confess my feelings, my yoga instructor called. "Sweetie, bring me the morning after pill, quick." Her voice was sweet and captivating. Struck gold this time. First time I've met a virgin with so much stamina. The call ended. My heart sank as I looked at the address she sent, because the location was none other than the home of the one everyone called the Ice Prince, my childhood crush. I stood at Ethan Shun's doorstep, but couldn't summon the courage to knock. All these years, I'd waited here every morning to walk to school with him. I'd stood here every evening to bring him meals. But this time, clutching the newly bought morning after pill, I just couldn't bring myself to. As I hesitated, Jae Jeong sent another message. "Hang the morning after pill on the door. Whatever you do, don't knock." Just as I was utterly baffled, she sent several voice messages in a row. I was so wrong before. College boys who've tasted the forbidden fruit are absolutely not lacking. Jae Jeong panted slightly, her voice tinged with excitement, though his technique can't compare to seasoned veterans. That raw strength of his was pounding me senseless. Her words were cut short. After a rustling sound, the chat window fell silent. Simultaneously, Jae Jeong's seductive pleas for mercy echoed from inside the room. I fought back the bitter ache, my finger hovering over the keypad lock. But in the end, I didn't press it. I hung the morning after pill on the door handle, replied, "Okay," to Jae Jeong, then fled like a deserter, utterly disheveled. I'd imagined 100 ways Ethan Shun might react after I confessed to him. The worst outcome would be him rejecting me, but I never once considered it would unfold in this suffocating manner. I clutched the heartfelt love letter I'd painstakingly written, all 800 words of it. Uncontrollably, I hid in a corner and cried for a long time, until night fell. I finally went home with 2 puffy red eyes. When I got home, Dad peeked out from the kitchen. "Anin, you're back. Tired today?" I responded vaguely. Just as I was about to head to my room, Mom urgently grabbed me. "Where are you going?" Before I could speak, Mom scolded me playfully, tapping my arm. "Anin, you're so scatterbrained. How could you forget such an important day today?" I stared at Mom blankly for a moment. Still hadn't remembered. Then I saw Ethan Shun familiarly open the door and walk in carrying fruit. Mom instantly let go of my hand and went to greet Ethan with a smile. Only then did I remember. Today is Ethan Shun's birthday. That's why I chose today to confess my feelings. But now, I couldn't face him calmly. Ethan Shun acted as if nothing had happened, walking into the kitchen to assist my dad. I took this time to wash my face, making myself look less disheveled. By the time I came out, the food and cake were already laid out on the table. Amid the flickering candlelight, I gazed at Ethan Shun's cold, noble profile, unable to stop myself from recalling the intimate scenes between him and Jae Jeong. Jae Jeong was quite the player. She often bragged to us about the tricks she'd pulled with the men she'd slept with. "Ethan, you and Arnon could be considered childhood crushes." After a few rounds of drinks, Dad suddenly brought up, his eyes reddening. "It's been so many years since your parents passed, and your Annie song, and I have always treated you like our own son. You know that, right?" I snapped out of my memories, abruptly looking up at Dad, just as I was about to say something to interrupt him. Mom gently patted my hand under the table and shook her head at me. I heard my usually composed father speak to Ethan Shun with a slightly trembling, uneasy voice. "Anin's admiration and affection for you. We've seen it all along. You're both adults now, and you'll be attending university together soon." "Uncle hopes." Father trailed off, hesitating. He took another sip of wine, as if steeling his courage. "I've watched you grow up, and with anyone else, we wouldn't feel at ease. You'll treat Anin well, won't you?" The atmosphere seemed to freeze abruptly. Both Mom and Dad fixed their hopeful gazes on Ethan Shun. I could feel it. Even Mom's body trembled slightly. Yet Ethan Shun's expression remained as it always was, calm and detached. His slender fingers tapped lightly, intermittently, against his wine glass, just as I abruptly rose to my feet, ready to defuse the tension. I heard Ethan Shun give a soft of acknowledgement. He lifted his gaze to meet my father's, his voice steady. I will. I looked up in disbelief. Ethan Shun met my eyes and offered a faint smile. I will treat Anna well. With me here, Uncle and Andy don't need to worry. I was just about to say something. Jade Jiang sent a video of herself clubbing with a male model at a bar. Along with it came a voice message. A bit flustered, I quickly tapped to convert it to text. Anna's song. Why are you confessing to that so-called childhood crush of yours? Learn from me. Go for the body, not the heart. Some rich kid was supposed to hit me up tonight, but that college guy wore me out so bad today. I just had to get out and get my hands on some abs. Still, thanks for today. I'll throw in a free class for you tomorrow. Good girl. I lower my head, like a student sneaking a phone in class. I asked, are you and that college guy together? Maybe my question came out of nowhere. Jade Jiang's status showed typing for a long time before she finally replied with A. I looked at Ethan Shun across from me, suddenly feeling a bit guilty. Just as I was about to recall the message, Jade's reply came through. Are you kidding me? I could fall for him. Letting him be my friend with benefits is already doing him a favor. If he wants a title, he'd have to ask if the 40 rich, handsome guys ahead of him in line are okay with it. Somehow, I actually let out a long sigh of relief. After turning off my phone, I called out to the slightly tipsy Ethan Shun, smiling as I looked into his eyes. Happy birthday. Maybe it was the alcohol kicking in. Dad's eyes were red, rimmed, and he kept saying good over and over. He stood up, patted Ethan on the shoulder. Good kid. I knew I wasn't wrong about you. Dad's voice was even a bit choked up. Realizing he'd lost his composure, he stood up and wiped his face roughly. I'll go make you longevity noodles. I was feeling a bit dizzy too. Leaning against Mom, I started counting on my fingers. This is the 7th birthday we've spent together. Time really flies. That timid and fragile boy has now grown into such a tall, handsome figure. That year, both his parents passed away overnight, leaving only Ethan Shun himself, raising him, buying a house and car, getting married and having children. Just the thought of these enormous expenses made relatives avoid Ethan at all costs, afraid of being dragged into it. Only my parents, seeing how pitiful he truly was, took on the responsibility, fearing he might feel inferior. Our whole family went to great lengths in every aspect of daily life. Fortunately, everything has been moving in a positive direction. Ethan's had too much to drink. You should take him home. Mom nudged my elbow, whispering, go on. I let out a surprised, ah. Looking up, I met Ethan's deep, shadowy gaze. He chuckled softly, his voice husky, like a mesmerizing enchantress. And then, I'll trouble you with Ethan Shun's home. Only 1 unit apart, all these years, except at night, he's been staying at our place. I never realized this path could feel so endless. Anna's song. Lost in thought, Ethan Shun called my name casually. Anna's song. I could sense the tenderness in his tone. Just as I was about to ask, he pulled me into his embrace. I was forced against the cold elevator door, struggled a couple of times, but was startled as Ethan suddenly leaned in closer. He raised an eyebrow, a smirk playing on his lips. Fueled by alcohol, he kissed me, nervously clenching my fists. I closed my eyes. After what felt like an eternity of seconds, Ethan chuckled. You really do like me, huh? His captivating peach blossom eyes fixed on me. How did I not see it? How did I miss the signs? Unease churned inside me. Blushing, I asked, why are you closing your eyes? Ethan Shun asked. Did you think I was going to kiss you? He said. His voice returned to its usual coldness. Is this amusing? What is this? Repaying a debt with affection? Didn't I say that once I earn money, I'll repay your family double? Why force me in matters of the heart? I don't understand. Am I your family's betrothed from childhood? Must I be with you just because I received your kindness, bound to your family for life? Ethan Shun's voice grew louder as he spoke. I had never seen him so distraught before. In my shock, I actually forgot to say, "Actually, you can refuse." Ethan Shen pulled a cigarette from his pocket. Under my astonished gaze, he chuckled lightly. "What, going to tattle on me?" He faced me directly, blowing a smoke ring with a soft laugh. "Go ahead. Go tell them I smoke in secret. Say I'm not the right person to spend my life with you, and then set me free." I stared at Ethan Shun, an unprecedented sense of unfamiliarity. After a long silence, I spoke softly. "I'll talk to Mom and Dad." I lowered my head, struggling to hold back tears. My voice choked up as I said, "You don't have to do this." Ethan Shun was always distant with everyone. Moreover, he strongly resisted others getting close to him. Except for me, not only did he not resist me, he would even secretly laugh at me when I did something silly. He would also carry me to the hospital when I caught a cold or had a fever. I always thought he liked me, but he was naturally reserved and not good at expressing himself. So I thought, once I became a little prettier, I would confess my feelings. To improve my figure, I signed up for yoga classes every holiday. After meeting Jade Jiang, she taught me how to become more beautiful, how to win a man's heart. Looking back now, I was utterly foolish. Early the next morning, I went to yoga class on time. I planned to act as if nothing had happened, finish my class, and then go on a trip with my parents. But I never expected. The moment I stepped inside, Jade Jiang slapped me across the face. She lifted her slender neck, speaking in a scornful tone. "You look so innocent, but who knew you'd be such a shameless bitch behind my back?" I was stunned by the slap. Only when I looked up did I realize, not only were the other students there, but Ethan Shun was also present, writing love letters to my boyfriend. How low can you get? Jade's face flushed with anger, her long, delicate nails jabbing at my chest. "What? Think just because you're young, you can seduce someone else's man and be the other woman?" he said. She stamped her foot coquettishly and linked arms with Ethan Shun, her voice trembling with tears. "Ethan Shun, say something. It's because of this little tramp meddling in our relationship that you broke up with me, isn't it?" I didn't have time to process what Jade meant about the breakup. Instinctively raised a hand to retaliate, but Ethan Shun immediately seized my wrist. He snapped irritably, "Haven't you had enough? Isn't this exactly what you wanted to see?" Ethan Shun pulled me along, ready to leave. He turned to Jade Jiang, his voice low. "This is my fault. I'm the one who wronged you. Forget about me." Ethan Shun's grip on my wrist was painfully tight. His expression toward Jade Jiang was a mix of restraint and resentment. "When the semester starts, and a song, and I will be studying in Capital City. Once you don't see me anymore, you'll be fine." Jade Jiang's lips parted. Her face was full of disbelief. I understood. She was proud and arrogant. Having navigated the dating scene for years, she had never lost before. Ethan Shun was probably the first man to make her feel defeated. I just hadn't expected it. She'd be so furious her eyes turned red. Posting my love letter, along with intimate photos of her and Ethan Shun, directly into the yoga group chat. "This is my star student. Attending my class is one thing, but how shameless. She even has the nerve to steal my boyfriend." After sending it, Jade Jiang even tagged my parents. "How did you raise her?" I lunged forward like a madwoman, scrambling to snatch the phone. But Ethan Shun stopped me, whispering soothingly to Jade, "Just let it all out. What's done is done, and I don't really." I laughed bitterly in anger. So I dug up all the past records of me delivering condoms to Jade Jiang. "Ethan Shun, you don't actually believe you're so called girlfriend is some innocent sweetheart, do you?" Within a month of knowing Jade, I'd already delivered condoms to her 15 times. She always said, "Plenty of fish in the sea, but the new catch is always the prettiest." I asked, puzzled, "Aren't you afraid of things blowing up in your face?" Jade just chuckled lightly and looked at me. "No wonder you're still a little bud. Listen up, sis here. Always open to dating, but not looking for anything long term. 0 X's across the internet. Got it?" At that moment, I blinked at her in confusion. I admit it, Jade Jiang was truly beautiful. The kind of stunning beauty with sharp, striking features coupled with her penchant for figure, hugging dresses. She radiated an extra allure. Noticing my gaze, Jae-jeong tapped my forehead teasingly. Just trust me, 1 month, and I'll transform you into every guy's dream. Guaranteed you'll win over your crush in no time. The catch is, you'll have to run errands for me, because you deliver faster. My dad's call snapped me out of my thoughts. I snapped back to reality. I hit decline, immediately sent the chat logs and payment records to the group. The classmates behind me stared at their screens and let out sharp, shocked screams. Holy crap, this is wild. I knew she played around, but not this much. Truly, it's the ox that dies from exhaustion, not the field that gets worn out from plowing. TSK, TSK, TSK. How dare someone like this be a teacher? So promiscuous. Yet she has the nerve to accuse others first. Wait, is Anna Song actually the other woman or not? The scorching gazes of the crowd seemed about to burn holes right through me. I forced myself to appear composed. Prepare to share the screenshot from last night where I asked Jae-jeong if they were a couple. Jae-jeong is my girlfriend. Ethan Shun's face was dark with anger. He stepped forward to comfort the flustered Jade, his voice quiet yet commanding. No matter what she was like before, now she's my girlfriend. I won't have you all fixating on someone's private life and making a big deal out of it. Jae-jeong jerked her head up. Her cheeks instantly flushed crimson. I stood frozen in place, as if nailed to the pillar of shame. After such a scandal broke out, the supervisor hurried over and, right in front of everyone, fired Jae-jeong on the spot. After our unpleasant parting, Ethan Shun grabbed my arm, his expression blank and voice icy. I truly never expected you to do something like this. I didn't want to deal with him. I tried to break free twice, but couldn't shake him off. His grip tightened, his voice low and controlled. Do you know why I came today? I found the love letter you wrote and casually put in my pocket, but Jae-jeong saw it. She was shaking with anger, saying you knew we were dating yet deliberately copied her style and outfits just to get my attention. She even suspected you might forge evidence to smear her reputation. Ethan Shun looked deeply disappointed, released my arm, and sighed softly. I never imagined that you, always so well behaved, would stoop to this. I was utterly stunned. I opened my mouth to speak, but no words came out. I let out a bitter laugh. So, you believe her over me? Before Ethan Shun could respond, I spotted my parents rushing over in a hurry. The tears welling in my eyes were forcefully held back. I heard Ethan Shun step forward to greet them, speaking with his usual gentle refinement. Uncle Song, Auntie Song, it's all right. It was all a misunderstanding. After saying this, he turned back and smiled at me. I didn't expose you because I still took your side. Jae-jeong has lost her job. Aren't you satisfied now? At that moment, I felt that harboring a secret crush on Ethan Shun was truly the stupidest thing I'd ever done. I curled the corner of my lips, almost there, under my parents' stunned gazes. I swung my arm, smack, watching the red mark instantly swell on Ethan's face. I shook my hand and said, now I'm satisfied. Jae-jeong was clearly guilty, seeing Ethan get hit. She hid in the corner, too afraid to come out. My parents were startled and moved to pull me back. This child, we're just talking. Why resort to hitting? He said. Mom, her face full of concern, went to comfort Ethan Shun. You two grew up together. All these years. What could be so unforgivable? Don't argue because of outsiders. A flicker of impatience passed through Ethan Shun's eyes. He instinctively pulled away. Mom's hand hung suspended in midair. I immediately pressed my face against it, nuzzling into her palm. Mom, I'm hungry. I watched as Mom froze for an instant. My heart ached unbearably, so I feigned composure and whined playfully. Let's go have grilled fish tonight. It's been so long, he said. I held Mom's hand with my left and linked arms with Dad on my right. Without another word, I led them away. My parents still seemed uneasy. What's going on? Weren't things fine last night? Exactly. We're all family. What's there to hold a grudge over? And then, you know Ethan lost his parents long ago. You can't treat him like this. I'll call him to join us for dinner. Once we talk out, everything will be fine. I could feel it, that intense gaze burning into my back. My voice turned cold and stern. Don't look back. 10 minutes later, just sat down at the restaurant. I received a message from Ethan Shun. We're even. This is the last time I cover for you. Take some time to cool off. Jae Jeong isn't doing well. I'll stay with her. Don't worry. It won't affect the September semester start. Sometimes you just have to laugh when you're speechless. I immediately blocked Ethan Shun and deleted Jae Jeong in one go. My parents hesitated, holding back their words. I took a deep breath and steadied myself, then recounted the whole story from beginning to end. After listening, my parents were silent for a long time. We really misjudged them. We always thought since Ethan grew up with us and we knew his background, he'd treat you well. Plus, you liked him so much. Dad sighed, and then, just do what makes you happy. Whether you date or marry is your choice. We just worry that, after we're gone, you won't have anyone to rely on. That's why I nodded. I swallowed my grievances, biting back the bitterness. I proposed, well, there is actually something I'd like to discuss with you both right now. Under their puzzled gazes, I stated solemnly, I want to change my college preference. I don't want to follow Ethan Shun to Capital University anymore. I want to go to South Coast University. Life returned to complete calm. I changed my preference before the end of July. I also stopped chasing after what Jae Jeong called beauty. Instead, I chose to go to the gym to build my strength and fitness. I even found time to work as a tutor. I wanted to use the money I earned to take my parents on a trip before the semester started. After Ethan Shun found out I had blocked him, he chose to give me the silent treatment. But I kept seeing Jae Jeong's account pop up in local feeds. They smoked, drank, and went clubbing together, riding motorcycles through the streets in the early hours. They even went bungee jumping, skydiving, and tried all sorts of extreme sports. I had never seen this side of Ethan Shun before. Perhaps all the kindness our family showed him must have felt like shackles and oppression to him. I didn't think much of it. I figured if I didn't make an effort, we'd never cross paths again. Until that rainy night, I left the middle school student's home as usual. I happily bought a small cake to share with my parents. Before I reached home, I received a call from the traffic police. Are you Song Jang-wo's daughter? Your parents were rear-ended by a hit and run driver. Their condition is critical. My breath caught. Where are they? The delicate cake fell to the ground, instantly turning into a messy lump. 20 minutes later, I stood panting in the emergency room of People's Hospital. I was in a daze, like a walking corpse. My mind was in complete turmoil. The doctor said my mother's condition was slightly better. My father needed a blood transfusion, but my blood type wasn't compatible with his. Rare blood type. The hospital doesn't have enough. Think about people around you. The nurse's words echoed in my ears. My mind exploded with realization. What do I do? What do I do? Ethan Shun. When I was 16 and got bullied by a troublemaker, Ethan fought him like his life depended on it. The bully couldn't swallow his pride. That night, he gathered 7 or 8 accomplices. They cornered Ethan on his way home from school. Back then, Ethan needed a blood transfusion. It was my dad who immediately rolled up his sleeve. Take mine, as much as you need. He's still growing. You must make sure he recovers completely. Remembering this, I didn't hesitate and called Ethan right away. Unexpectedly, Jae Jeong answered the phone. Her voice was lazy, like a half-asleep cat. And a song? Jade chuckled softly. What's up, childhood sweetheart? What could be so urgent to call him in the middle of the night? Didn't Ethan Shun tell you? This summer, he belongs to me? Her syrupy voice made me sick to my stomach. But since I needed her help, I forced myself to stay calm. My parents were in a car accident. They need blood transfusions. They really need Ethan Shun. Right now, only he can save my dad. There was a long silence on the other end. My heart grew even more frantic. Before I could even utter the word please, I heard Jae Jeong laugh. Her laughter was full of scorn, as if she just heard the most ridiculous joke. Seriously? Are you that desperate? Making up stories just to steal a man? Did you forget? Those cheap tricks are what I used to pull back in the day. Then, I heard a rustling sound. Ethan Shun asked, who is it? Jae Jeong replied in a teasing, reproachful tone. It's your little childhood sweetheart. Ethan Shun sounded almost pleasantly surprised. She actually called me? I thought she'd finally grown a backbone this time. He said. I desperately hoped he would take the phone immediately. Unexpectedly, Jae-jong angrily shifted her tone. Didn't we agree that after you spent the summer with me properly, I'd give you back to her? What do you mean now? Are you choosing her? Don't forget, it was you who begged me to come to your place. You were the one who said Anna song. That goody, too, shoes, was boring and rigid, and that you were seeking excitement with me. Ethan Shun fell silent. I suddenly hated my own helplessness. The moment Jade hung up the phone, I immediately stood up, hailed a cab, and headed to the busiest night market at that hour. From childhood till now, I've always been obedient, following a routine. School, home, a rigid two-point life. Changing myself for Ethan Shun was almost the bravest thing I'd ever done, let alone appearing in public like this. But at this moment, I felt incredibly brave. I bought a megaphone, stood in the middle of the bustling crowd, and shouted my plea loudly. As long as it can save my dad, any reward is acceptable. At first, everyone thought I was just seeking attention. Later, seeing how emotionally I spoke with tears streaming uncontrollably, some began to stop and watch. Then, a few streaming influencers directly turned their cameras toward me, helping me find suitable people. Unexpectedly, this shot the live stream to the top of local trending. In just 10 minutes, dozens of suitable people rushed to the hospital from the night market, their homes, and offices. I didn't care about my disheveled appearance, nor did I have the energy to read the comforting words from kind netizens on the public screen. It wasn't until the doctor said my father was out of critical condition and my mother had been moved to a regular ward, only needing rest to recover, that my tightly wound nerves finally relaxed. Due to the extreme emotional turmoil, I fainted right there in the hallway. When I woke up again, my phone showed a string of dozens of missed calls, all from Ethan Shun. I let out a heavy sigh, feeling nothing but regret. It's a pity that after so many years of pouring my heart and soul into it, this is the outcome I get. I turned off my phone screen. I didn't want to pay it any mind. I forced myself to walk out. Only then did I realize that those kind souls who donated blood had left in a hurry without even leaving their names. Even those mukbang influencers, seeing that I wasn't in good shape, didn't disturb me further. They even left fruits and nutritional supplements at the nurse's station. I stood frozen in place. Tears of grievance finally broke free and streamed down my face. Sometimes, the so-called family you see every day shows less kindness than strangers. I took my parents' phones. After unbinding the family cards they had set up for Ethan Shun, I muted his notifications. It was at that moment I noticed. Ethan Shun had taken Jae-jong to the seaside to watch the sunrise in the early hours. The caption read, "One last escape." I didn't dwell on it, quickening my pace. I headed to the ward, seeing that although my parents were weak, thankfully, they were out of life-threatening danger. I finally breathed a sigh of relief. Within a few days, the hit and run driver was found. Along with being held criminally responsible, they also paid us a substantial amount in compensation. 10 days later, my parents had recovered enough to be discharged from the hospital. During these days, I quietly made a resolution. I must do well in university and strive to find a good job there. South Coast has a pleasant climate, making it the perfect place for my parents to retire. Nothing is more important than the whole family being together and well. I just hadn't expected it. On the way home from the hospital, I ran into Ethan Shun and Jae-jong. Standing beside Jae-jong was another man in a tailored suit. Ethan Shun's eyes were bloodshot, with a ferocity I had never seen before. He screamed hoarsely at Jae-jong. "Didn't you say you were going to a job interview? In just 1 hour, you're already with some random guy from who knows where." Pride prevented Ethan Shun from uttering those 2 words outright, but seeing the open car door and Jae-jong's disheveled dress, I understood instantly. TSK, TSK, TSK. As if possessed by a whim, I had the driver stop the car. Leaning against the window with keen interest, I watched the scene unfold. What random man? Jae-jong threw caution to the wind, leaning against the man in the suit and taunting. "This is the heir of the leading real estate empire. He's my legitimate boyfriend. Jade Jiang showed no mercy. You say you're my boyfriend. What proof do you have? Seizing the moment while Ethan Shen was stunned, she quickly cooed to the man in the suit. A broke college guy. How could I ever fall for someone like him? Honey, it was him, chasing me, pestering me, ruining my job. Otherwise, I'd still be doing perfectly fine as a yoga instructor. Oh, speaking of yoga, I know lots of advanced moves. It's a bit cramped in your car. Why not go to your place so I can show you properly? The whole time, Jade Jiang didn't even give Ethan Shen a proper glance. She practically glued herself to the man in the suit. Without a moment's hesitation, the suited man wrapped his arm around Jade's waist and guided her into the car. Before leaving, he forcefully punched Ethan Shen in the chest, growling a warning. Listen, kid, don't push your luck when you're given a way out. If I catch you around again, I'll break your arm, and I swear on my family name Chung. Ethan Shen wanted to say something more, but seeing the row of bodyguards behind the man, he awkwardly halted his steps. The luxury car sped off. Ethan stood disheveled and stunned, glaring after the car and cursing through gritted teeth. You bitch. Suddenly, as if remembering something, he pulled out his phone, fingers swiftly navigating the screen. The next moment, my phone buzzed with a text. Jade and I are completely over. School's starting soon. Let's stop fighting. Are you home? I'll come find you and help with your shopping. I didn't reply. Looking up, just then, I locked eyes with Ethan Shen, who looked utterly bewildered. His expression shifted from shock to disbelief, then crumbled into defeat. In an instant, all color drained from his face. I rolled up the car window, smiled faintly. Let's go, driver. Overnight, news of Jade Jiang officially dating a rich second generation heir spread across the internet. In the video, she appeared delicate and clinging, every smile and glance dripping with charm. I've never been in a relationship before, though. We've only known each other a short while. I feel he's my destined soulmate. Those men claiming to be with me are just average, overconfident guys fantasizing online. Pay them no mind. As women, we must protect our purity and reputation. Eating watermelon at that moment, I nearly choked. I quickly pulled out my phone. Mr. Chung, you really took one for the team this time. Thank you so much. Don't worry, before the semester starts, I'll work hard to boost your sister's grades by 100 points. Jordan Chung didn't seem busy. Instantly replied with a cute kitten sticker. Glad I could help. My pleasure. Just put down my phone. The door swung open. Thinking it was Dad, returning from grocery shopping, I immediately stood up with a smile to greet him. Upon seeing it was Ethan Shen, my smile vanished instantly. Why are you here? Ethan Shen didn't seem to notice my reaction. He smiled awkwardly. And then, didn't you always say you wanted to go shopping for clothes to wear at Capital University? And your suitcase. Didn't you need a new one too? We could. Just then, Dad returned with groceries, accompanied by Mom, who just finished her dance class. Seeing it was Ethan Shen, Dad's face turned cold. Ethan, you're so busy. What brings you here? Mom, who'd always been warm to him, directly picked up a feather duster and began sweeping vigorously around Ethan, muttering under her breath. How did the house get so filthy in such a short time? Disgusting. Ethan Shen dodged lightly. He smiled awkwardly. Auntie, let me help you. I couldn't tell if he genuinely didn't understand or was pretending not to. Mom shot him a fierce glare and went straight into the bedroom. Seeing he wasn't welcome, Ethan Shen tried to take the groceries from my dad. Let me. No need. My dad said sternly with a stern face. Aranin is a clean girl. Ethan, since you have a girlfriend now, you shouldn't come around anymore. After all, our family still has dignity to uphold. And Anin, change the passcode later. Don't let irrelevant people come and go as they please in our home. Ethan Shen hadn't expected my parents, who had always doted on him, to suddenly turn cold. He reached out somewhat helplessly, then withdrew his hand. His voice was slightly hoarse as he whispered, "What's wrong? Everyone makes mistakes. I just had a failed relationship. Does that warrant a death sentence?" Ethan Shen's eyes were bloodshot. He looked at me with a wounded expression. I was utterly exasperated. I told him bluntly, "Check the local trending topics and you'll understand." And Ethan Shun, our family owes you nothing. Get out now. Ethan Shun was shoved out the door, but he didn't leave, because 5 minutes later, Ethan Shun stood outside the door, crying out in despair. I truly didn't know. I had no idea something so terrible happened that night. Otherwise, how could I have? He said, his voice nearly broke with tears. Uncle Song, please, open the door. I can explain. You can hit me, curse me, whatever helps you vent. Annie Song, you've always been so kind to me. Give me one chance, okay? If I'd known, how could I not have come to the hospital? How could I have let an in take the fall? Seeing we wouldn't open the door, Ethan Shun began slapping himself. Again and again, each strike echoed sharply through the empty hallway. I truly know I was wrong. If anything happens to you, I could never live with myself. Give me one more chance. I genuinely see you as family. Bang! I opened the door. Ethan Shun was half kneeling on the ground. Seeing me, he clutched my hem in disarray. Anan, I knew you'd give me a chance. Ethan Shun, I cut him off coldly. What makes you think I would ever like a man so filthy? Now our roles have reversed. Back then, I was the braces, wearing girl with dark, heavy glasses. Ethan Shun was the admired ice prince. But now, thanks to my style and fitness, I'm at the level where people stop me on the street for my WeChat. Yet look at Ethan Shun now. His complexion is sallow, and stubble sprouts awkwardly on his chin. How could I ever like someone like this? I took a disgusted step back. You disgust me. For the sake of my family's kindness to you, leave us alone. Ethan Shun swayed unsteadily, his voice trembling as he asked, What do you mean? Anan, are you abandoning me? Uncle Song, are you abandoning me too? Didn't you say we'd always be family? Dad was in the living room, still couldn't help but let out a heavy sigh. I've done right by old Shun. You're an adult now. Walk your own path from here on, he said. Dad's attitude was resolute. He walked over, shielded me behind him, and firmly closed the door. Leave. Don't come back again. Get lost. Even a glance disgusts me. Ethan Shun finally understood. Spilt water cannot be gathered. What he had lost would never return. I poured all my effort into helping my students improve their grades. Finally, during the last exam, they achieved unexpectedly outstanding results. Jordan Chung was overjoyed. On top of my original salary, he added another 100,000. He said he wanted to reserve my winter break time for continued tutoring. I shook my head and declined. I've prepared a lot of materials for my sister, tailored to her learning style. If she has any questions later, she can video call me. I explained with a smile. My parents just retired, and they plan to settle in South Coast with me. We won't be coming back after this. Jordan Chung let out a soft, oh, his eyes dropping with disappointment. Then, as if suddenly remembering something, he added, By the way, I broke up with that Jade Jiang a long time ago. After she made it public, a bunch of guys contacted my assistant, showing me her bed photos. I had someone compile them into a PPT and posted it online. After that, her reputation was completely ruined. The facade couldn't hold up anymore. I heard she couldn't handle the backlash, so she just gave up and went into the profession full time. I felt a pang of mixed emotions. Yet, I also thought, given Jade Zhang's nature, ending up on this path seemed almost inevitable. Back then, I just thought she liked to have fun. I never expected she'd be a woman with no bottom line. Forget it, her matters. From now on, they have nothing to do with me anymore. Our whole family mobilized. We finally managed to sell the house before the semester started. Everything was resolved. On the first night after settling down in South Coast, Ethan Shun bombarded my phone in disbelief. Where did you go? They said you sold the house and the whole family left. Didn't we agree to go to Capital University together? I'll prove to you with actions that I won't make mistakes again. I was just thinking with the wrong head back then. I lost my senses when such a beautiful woman pursued me. Why aren't you saying anything? Tell me where you are. I listened to his desperate, strained voice and replied with utter calm. Ethan Shun, we don't want you anymore. Hearing Ethan Shun's hysterical breakdown, I kindly reminded him, by the way, Jade Jiang didn't sleep with that rich kid that night. Do you know why? She tested positive for AIDS. As her boyfriend, oh no, bedmate, you should hurry and get yourself checked. The other end fell completely silent. Little did I know at the time that my words would prove prophetic. That turned out to be the last time I ever heard news of Ethan Shun. I deleted and blocked all of Ethan Shun's contact information from my parents' phones. Then I threw myself into the whirlwind of decorating our new home. And Mom peeked out from the bedroom. Which of these flowers do you think is prettier? I pointed at the vibrant, eye-catching sunflowers. Let's go with these. To grow toward the sun and chase the light.